Gaming did a kind of a similar thing as Pawn is not going to be starting today, which was to tie. Instead, it's going to be Save that starts in the first match between Invictus Gaming and EDG, and we are in Champion Select for that first match. No bans will be coming out from EDG due to their last-minute substitution of Scout for Pawn, but on the blue side, we will see Invictus Gaming take away Vladimir as well as Siva.
You see Rapid Star laughing behind EDG right there, the drafting coach for the team. He says, you know, red side, losing all the bans, probably not that big of a deal.
On the blue side, though, Invictus Gaming is still waiting for their final ban as EDG will let their last ban timer run out, or the second last ban timer run out here, as they will get the final say. And it will be a Cogmore as the final ban that comes out from IG.
And of course, the reason why losing all of your bans on red side isn't that big of a deal is because IG now get the priority pick of blue side. They can pick up that Malzahar if they choose. They can go the Saint route and pick up the Gragas, whereas EDG will immediately get a rotation of 2 Overtune champions.
We'll have to see if Invictus Gaming can formulate a 3-man strong team comp to reply to that with their second 2 rotation of picks. As the ban timer does run out for EDG, means IG will be heading into their first pick here. And they've got all the options in the world, and they pick Jhin as their first pick of choice.
Interesting priority into the AD carry position, especially because Marge is definitely not the hard carry for this team, but possibly just another denial against Deft. Again, you have Sivir and Kog'Maw already sitting on that ban bench. So picking up the Jhin. Yeah, I know, it happened, Fish.
On the flip side, EDG are going to be locking in Gragas as their first pick in the jungle for Clear Love, whereas they're still waiting to pick up their next champion. If they do lock in what they're hovering now, the Braum, it would be no surprise as EDG have been prioritizing this support quite frequently.
And the big AD carry left open that would work wonderfully with Braum would be that Ashe pickup. So Def could certainly still go that direction. And again, I always love Gragas. I think he's probably highest priority jungler right now just because of his ability to protect teams, break mid lane freezes, help assist in wave clear. I mean, we've gone on and on with this list. He's got quite the resume. And
you kind of mentioned as well, you know, how the mustache lane, as you like to call it, Frostkurn has been doing really well in the LPL, especially because it's kind of like the pseudo Jhin or the pseudo Ashe, depends on which way you want to take a look at it. It still provides a lot of that utility that Jhin can provide to the table.
Long-range utility to start team fights or to help create poke competitions. Likewise, Ashe does very well in the 2v2. She's actually quite oppressive in the lane with her volley as well as her Q. So she's in a very healthy spot right now.
And also the second longest range champion at level 1 as well, just falling short to Caitlyn at 600. She's at 600, Caitlyn at 650. As Invictus Gaming lock in Trundle as their next pick of choice. Definitely a flex pick that can be played in the top or the bottom lane as a support. And Elise is going to be the jungler of choice for Invictus Gaming.
And again, Malzahar is still sitting up and available, which certainly fit into Scout's wheelhouse, which is why I like the early rotation on Trundle. Trundle has the longest range displacement in the game outside of Gragas' Cask, which means that it's a threat to Malzahar to go into that ultimate because it can get pillared out of it.
Now EDG are looking for their next 2 picks. They do have the support in jungler, so it's all 3 carries that they're leaving to pick last year, which is something we see them do quite frequently on the red side of the map. Look for their AD carry, their mid laner, and their top laner as their final few picks. Ashe is being hovered over by Def. We talked it quite in depth about the champion that Def can pick up here. They're hovering over Gangplank as well.
Reminder that Gangplank, the big player on EDG, is actually Mouse. I know when Pawn returned to the roster, there was a lot of Gangplank bans, and Pawn also does play a phenomenal Gangplank, but it's usually being targeted out at EDG's top laner, and how they're synergizing with their Gangplank is beautiful.
And even a couple of times when Pawn was on the team and they did get the Gangplank pick, they decided to give it to Mouse in the top lane instead. And that was one of the first few carry champions that we really saw Mouse play, and it's one of the he's been performing phenomenally on it. Not only when he gets tanks for his team, he can be that facilitator, but also when he gets carries like Gangplank, he's able to deal massive amounts of damage to add to the destruction of the enemy team.
It also really hides Mouse from kind of that brutal 1v1 against the caliber of top lane in the LPL. You know, he can sit back, he can farm up with his barrels, he can still impact a lot of those 5v5s, like you said, with his cross-map ultimate. So I like the fit for him.
And a Malzahar being picked as the final pick for Invictus Gaming to go with the Echo that should be heading up into the top lane.
Will mean that the likes of Rookie picks up that Malzahar. Rookie is the heart and soul of Invictus Gaming. He's their primary carry, so getting a champion as powerful as Malzahar with such incredible wave control, hard CC, objective burn. Big issue, though, is that he's picking it into the Gangplank.
Gangplank still can be a flex pick for the top lane for EDG, and we already mentioned, I think at the start of our first match of tonight between Saint and Snake, how effectively Gangplank can do against that Malzahar.
Again, having that cannon barrage, Malzahar has to stand and deliver his ultimate, so you drop the Gangplank ultimate on him and you make him choose. You're either letting this ult go or you're taking the full duration of damage from mine.
And still, it should be a top lane Gangplank coming out from EDG as they're leaving their mid lane pick for last, it seems, and they do lock in the Victor for Scout in the mid lane.
Yeah, no surprise. This has kind of been the go-to against Malzahar. Victor, one of the few champions that can at least compete or keep up with Malzahar's wave clear. That said, again, this is the 6.14 patch, so the adjustments to his Hex Core purchase have gone through. And
even without bans, EDG have still formulated a really nice team comp here against Invictus Gaming.
I like that they also have options and answers to the Malzahar power pick, that they were able to kind of rest on a very tried and true composition for them without expending themselves too much.
It's a great draft coming out from EDG's coach here up against Invictus Gaming, who still were able to pick up a couple of power picks, mostly the Malzahar and the Jhin as well. We have seen Echo return to play, and Kid has been having a couple of great performances on the Elise when he doesn't get Gragas.
And what's really important right now is that EDG actually hold their hands. I don't think they're in a similar scenario where Snake, where they're going to try to experiment because the series means nothing. Again, they want perfection, but they also want to hide all of their cards going to playoffs and make sure that they give nothing away.
On top of that, they're going to try and look to use a try-to-test team comp to try and take Invictus Gaming, a team they definitely do not want to lose to, but we'll have to see if they put up a great fight here as we head into game number 1 between Invictus Gaming and EDG. We are on to Summoner's Rift for game number 1 between Invictus Gaming and EDG. Frostgrin, this match is not going to affect the standings in any way, shape or form. If IG win here, they still must beat Newbie to head into playoffs. If they lose, they still have to beat Newbie to head into playoffs. That's not going to change. But if this is a grudge match if I have ever seen one.
And we all know that the LPL teams will always go for the throat if presented. Even if nothing is on the line, they will play for blood, they will play for fun. So this should be quite an explosive game.
And this has been proven throughout this entire week. I mean, take a look at OMG trying to play spoiler against VG. We even saw that last match between Snake and Saints. It's been a tongue twister for the entire night.
To be fair, I would say that that game was Snake versus Snake.
Pretty fair and accurate description of game number 2. But still, these two teams will definitely be out for blood, especially in a grudge match like this. EDG do not like losing. They're still chasing their perfect record here and trying to keep that alive as they head into playoffs. They also do not want to drop any game here against Invictus Gaming.
And just a reminder how much pressure EDG really put on themselves. You have to think the last 2 LPL titles, as well as their ticket to MSI, EDG missed out on. They had a lackluster finish at Worlds in 2015, dropping to Fnatic in that knockout stage. To come back out of their slump and to have a perfect run in a best-of-3 in an LPL split would be phenomenal for them. This is a team that when they drop a series, they submit apologies to their fans. They want perfection, and they are not going to stop.
Well, they're looking great so far in the summer split of the LPL. We see RNG, coming back from MSI, looking even more revitalized, especially after picking up Uzi as their AD carry of choice. EDG still looks strong. They're still the only undefeated team at the LPL, and they're trying to prove that they are the best in the LPL. We are in game though, and we did see standard lanes come out from these two teams as Rookie just gets chased out of his lane at level 1.
And we've already seen quite a lot of aggression across the map from EDG. Not only were Deft and Mako very proactive in applying pressure to Bowlin and Marge, but now Clearlove's about to walk in on Kid, trying to steal his blue buff.
Kid might actually be able to take the blue buff away from Clearlove. It looks like he wanted to go and check it out. The Wolf Spear finally spots it. But you're absolutely right, Frostgrim. We saw bottom lane trade over the Krugs. We saw Rookie being chased out of lane level 1. We see Skirmish's top lane. Now Clearlove has just lost his blue.
And what's clever about this is that Clearlove really can't answer back and try to contest Invictus Gaming's blue, simply because Echo's going to have control and shove on that top side of the map, so it's going to be really hard for Mouse to unlock himself from top side and assist should ClearLove look to challenge that.
And it's every single lane at the moment that is going in favor of Invictus Gaming. Save top side of the map, shoving in his Echo. We can see mid lane, there was already a very early shove coming up from Rookie after he got pushed out of lane at level 1. It's only really bottom lane that is quite even between EDG and Invictus Gaming. As Marge actually getting exhausted very early, gets stunned up by the concussive blows, is forced to flash and heal to try and get out of that. Deft and Mako being very aggressive in this bottom lane.
Trading 3 summoners for only that exhaust on Mako right there, so certainly punishing IG's brand new bottom lane. Marge kind of hit and miss, don't really have the tape to definitively make a call on him one way or the other. Baolan, I know Raz is very high on. He's a great roam support, but still quite lackluster in the individual 2v2 matchups.
Well, we're going to have to see if the roam coming up for Baolan is going to be enough for them to try and pull back this bottom lane as EDG walk a nice big minion wave in towards Invictus Gaming's turret. Marge already incredibly low, no potion ticking. Deft is healing up quite nicely. Means they're going to try and die for it. The flash forward from Mako, able to get the concussive blows down, and Deft will pick up first blood in the bottom lane.
And Mako and Deft have been doing this time and time again in their recent series where they're just brute forcing kills in the bottom lane. They tried it last time in Alistar and Callista. Didn't work out so well. Goes much better this time on Ashe and Braum.
No, we can see Kid was actually trying to look towards the mid lane to get a gank off towards Rookie, who was playing on towards
Scout.
Sorry, Scout, not Rookie. He was able to take the Raptor camp away from ClearLove first. So Kid's been doing a pretty good job of keeping up inside of ClearLove's jungle.
He 3-buffed ClearLove. Kid's doing a phenomenal job right now. And who would have thought that the replacement for Cacao would aspire to be such a stable jungler for Invictus Gaming? IG have said it themselves multiple times. They've been very vocal that they believe this is the best iteration of the team, even better when Cacao was on the roster.
Well, EDG is now looking for a gank in the mid lane here. Rookie immediately has to back away. Body Slam comes out from ClearLove, threatening a flash away from Rookie, but holds his ground. Kid is close by to try and stop this. As another ward goes over the Raptor camp. We've seen lots of junglers do this to try and deny the Raptor vision coming out from the smite onto Raptors.
Obviously so important, especially when you're laying down deep triangle vision, but there's the Ghost.
Ghost coming out from Scout, just get a laser off on towards Rookie. It seemed like ClearLove was looking for a return gank.
They're also pulling Mako. Mako has made his initial back, so picked up his Ruby Crystal as well as that pink ward, so he should be teaming up with Scout's pressure and ClearLove to start deep vading inside Kid's jungle.
He's got boots as well, so lots of mobility will come out from EDG's support. For now, though, the tension in the mid lane just kind of diffuses between the mid laners and junglers, so they're just going to rotate back into the jungle and the bottom lane respectively.
But there can be a lot of focus put on the mid-map right now, not only because you have ClearLove who's going to get closer to that level 6, so he'll have great kill threat on Malzahar as a mid-range mage, but the fact is that EDG have control over the bottom side of the map. Deft has a massive item advantage in that BF sword. They already had the kill pressure and forced out the summoners on Marge and Baolan, so ClearLove could also look to continue to exploit that in tandem with the Gangplank ultimate, which is now available.
Kid is trying to make his way towards the top side of the map, does get spotted out by a pink ward he placed in towards his Tri-Brush. ClearLove also making his way towards the bottom lane, but an expired ward spots him before he gets there. Mouse actually being really safe and opting to run all the way back to his second turret to escape the gank from Kid.
But Marge and Baolan likewise have to completely run away from their tower. The threat of the Gangplank ultimate was there.
You can actually see, Gangplank ultimate was used. You have to think that was in the top lane to clear out the minion wave that was crashing on towards Mouse's turret. Both top laners used their teleports early to get back into lane, so they can't use it now to get back or to help with a dive. Meanwhile, Scout mid lane's been locked down, will get taken down. Rookie gets a kill in the mid lane.
But this is how Invictus Gaming's composition works. Anytime you have the Malzahar, use it in tandem with the Elise, and you have massive kill threat on that mid lane there, following up the ultimate with the Cocoon.
But as always, Deft, one of the biggest MVP performers in the LPL, has been doing some work in the bottom lane with the assistance of Mako. Has already been able to chip away at this turret quite significantly. He is also, Frostco, 30 CS up ahead of Marge.
Marge is in quite a bad place. Likewise, the Hawkshot will catch out where Kid is, so we'll see if Deft and Mako curb their aggression, knowing that the enemy jungler is nearby.
Mako able to thread the Winter's Bite there as Mouse takes a lot of damage on the top side of the map. Save will take a turret shot, is forced to use his ultimate to get back to safety.
Really clean cooldown management from Mouse there, holding on to his orange as well as setting himself up on his barrel to try to bait Save underneath the tower. So Mouse looking more and more comfortable in these micro transactions and 1v1s.
Klidov is actually sneaking around this pink ward, so he hasn't been spotted yet. He's already pretty close to a gank here. Now showing up. Save already used the dash to try and jump away. There's the Paralock of Urges trying to lock them down, but a good ultimate will come out from Klidov to knock him back. The body bop comes in and chucks down the keg to pick up a kill in the top lane.
And we talked about how EDG had already won the bottom side of the map. So it's kind of up to Clearlove and his discretion where he wants to go from there.
Kid looking for a return kill as he tries to chase down Clearlove. Will go for Mouse instead. The gameplay was looking to try and save a life, but just dies in return.
A little bit overzealous. I believe it was a Spiderling that turned and just took the last tick of health. So good intentions from Mouse. Unfortunately, kind of mismanaged that execution. But meanwhile, with the jungler busy top lane, it does give EDG's bot lane to just kind of nail in the coffin. There goes that tower.
And the turret does finally fall down for EDG in the bottom lane. 1 turret to none. They are also over 1,000 gold up ahead of Invictus Gaming, approaching 2,000 gold even.
And more importantly is the fact that Deft has that ultimate. So now that Ashe has been unlocked from this lane, she can walk into Fog of War, which means Rookie has to be careful. Anytime Ashe is not visible on the lane, you have to expect that the arrow is coming straight down mid.
You can already see Scouts be doing a good job of trying to get the passive of Malzahar off every time it comes back up of cooldown, even though the changes of Malzahar have yet to go through. His passive is still on a very long cooldown at the start of the game. It gets a little bit better as the game progresses.
Yep, like you said.
Rookie will also pick up their blue buffs.
6.14, so Malzahar at max level will still have a 6-second cooldown window on his passive. As another exploiting top lane while EDG are actually looking bot and mid.
Moby Boots at least that's trying to run up towards Mouse here, but the pink ward does spot out the two-man gank that's moving up towards the top side of the map. And again, a huge patience coming out from Mouse. Means he gets back in alive as Kid takes a barrel to the face. Mouse chunks him down. There's the Cannon Mirage trying to take him down. Kid will go back in, but the parlay will come out from Gangplank, and he picks up a kill in the top lane.
And that is the difference of Mouse starting as a mediocre top laner and being a threat on EDG's team composition right there. He is playing so much better on the back half of the split and has really come into his own as a substitution and replacement for Koro.
Frosco, Marge is level 5. Deft is level 7.
Not having a good time. He's been zoned off a lot of creeps. It's 37 and 92. I'm sorry to tell you, Fish, but it only gets worse from there.
He's 60 CS behind Deft right now. That is ridiculous. As Scout is going to get locked down in the mid lane. Mouse looking to try and... will be Rookie looking to try and pick up the kill, but save. He's actually going to get turned on here by Scout. Pops the Ghost, just runs straight back at them. There's no lockdown anymore. The ultimate even being used by Echo to try and close the distance. Scout just runs them in circles.
And I love Pawn. Pawn has been playing phenomenally. He came back into the LPL. He had a fantastic Vladimir performance, a great Malzahar performance. But Scout is such an unsung hero of EDG when he's on this roster. It reminds me of EDG in 2014 when they had you. He's drawing so much resource and so much attention and making it look stylish and easy.
Well, IG is still looking to try and fight EDG here. A big science field does come out. Save is teleported back into the mid lane. Here comes Mouse though. He's looking to try and lock them down. Gravity field gets saved. No more ultimate means Mako gets the concussive blows down to pick up the kill. Arrow will be dodged out by Marge, but the Flash Winter Spike comes out from Mako. Will get turned on, but there's no curtain call from this shit. He's still level 5.
Still disaster for Invictus Gaming when it's all said and done, but Marge, props. That was a nice flash, and even better juke there with your Swifties.
Doesn't change the fact that he is 50 CS behind Deft, and picking up the boots of swiftness, no combat stats for the Jhin. He is not having a great time.
Let him have his moment in the sun,
He
Fish.
had his moment, as Kid has his moment as well, missing a cocoon. No jukes coming out from Scout.
Because that's the only viable option that Kid has right now. His bot lane is in tatters. Like you said, that Jhin is about 50-some CS down with 0 items. He's literally just there with his laced-up Adidas, hoping that something good happens. He can only continuously gank mid lane.
Will he finally hit level 6 here? Yes, finally gets 2 minions, hits level 6 after a prolonged amount of time. But it's not looking great for Invictus Gaming. Now 3,000 gold behind, EDG 4-2 in terms of kills, a single turret up. Have yet to go for the first dragon, which is going to be a mountain dragon in this match. But they're just controlling the jungle of Invictus Gaming. Kid has been ganking a lot, but Clearlove, after the really poor start, has just bounced back nice and strong. Is now counter-jungling Kid at any opportunity he can get.
Clear Love, even though he lost his buffs, did prioritize gaining vision on the bottom side of the map, which empowered Deft and Mako to go aggressive. So yes, technically Kid won in the jungle, but Clear Love won on the map and allowing his bot lane to go off.
Good response from Kid, does head straight into Clear Love's jungle, picks up the red buff for himself. Scout now in the mid lane going to try and take down a pink ward. And we'll spot out Kid as he runs away from Clear Love's jungle.
As now, here comes the threat of the dive. This inner bot tower is not long for the world. Cask, Arrow, and Flash are available. They have to just get the hell out of dodge.
There's an ultimate coming out from Gangplank in the mid lane, though, as Scout's been locked down by Kid. The barrage is not going to be enough to take down the Spider. As when Victor falls, the Chaos Storm starts following the jungler from Invictus Gaming. So good gank in the mid lane, but EDG pick up another turret.
5th time's the charm, and here comes the arrow.
It's going to land straight on towards Kid. He's stuck now, stunned up for quite some time. Balan looking to try and save him. Mako does not thread the Winter's Bite there, as he will be able to scuttle away from the gank.
And no follow-up from Clear Love, still sitting with that Flash Cask. Rookie, you're in trouble.
Well, here comes Clear Love looking for a gank right behind or in between the two mid lane turrets, but it doesn't matter because Deft and Mako just push on forward, looking to try and take this one down. The pillar will come out. Winter's Bite will stop the passive coming out from Malzahar. Takes a little bit of damage from the volley, but that turret is going to fall really soon.
Great protection, though, from Balan. Again, Raz is singing his praises a lot. I really like him when he's unlocked from his lane. Lackluster 2v2, but he's always at the right place at the right time. Manages to not only save that tower, but more importantly, save his mid laner, Rookie.
As Marge now has returned to the mid lane here, sitting on 2 long swords, a Cull and a Doran's Blade as his combat items at the moment, going up against a completed Essence Reaver by Deft.
What is he going to do with all these swords? How can he carry them all?
I don't know, but he's got 4 bullets and now 4 swords as he upgrades it into a serrated dirk and buys another one, so sticking to the theme of Jhin at least.
Well, more importantly, he's actually getting some farm time, although that wave is actually going to push a little bit away from him, which can open him up to a gank, especially because he doesn't have an inner tower behind him.
He's literally just picking up the table scraps at the moment. He might get a couple of minions down in that bottom lane, but Deft's just going to be like, well, I get a Mountain Dragon, I go back down and pick up all these juicy waves that are pushing back for myself.
And then I'll disappear into Fog of War, which means Rookie has to back up or I'll pop him in the face with an arrow.
So far, EDG off to a very dominant start, close to 4,000 gold up against Invictus Gaming, and RNG is definitely on their side with Mountain first and Infernal next. The top side of the map, they're looking to try and make a play against Mouse. Save, forced to use the ultimate as the parlay did immense amounts of damage on towards the top laner. They're trying to chase him down. They go underneath the turret, but Mouse just casually flashes away. The Voidlings will chase, but it's not enough to take the top laner down, and mid lane turret will fall.
Yep, meanwhile, since there's multiple resources of Invictus Gaming top, although Kid,
he's up in the top side, just flashes forward, and Incy Wincy Spider picks up a kill.
And this is really the difference between EDG and IG, and this is a difference as old as time. Is
oh my god, that's a curtain call. And
that's
straight
an
into the arrow to the face there as he gets knocked back into the team. Marge sitting on top of a barrel. Scout will get locked down, but Rookie is going to be the next target. Gravity Field is not enough to take him down. The Voidlings are chasing, they're hunting. The flash will have to come out from Scout, as well as the heal that comes out from Ash to keep him alive. IG still looking for a fight. Kid's trying to chase. We'll get the Cocoon on towards Clear Love, but EDG, get the heck out of there.
But they overstay a bit, and Invictus Gaming actually managed to trade fairly even in the elongated pursuit there. The fact that Echo was able to take down the outer top tower is fairly important.
Well, Rookie is definitely scary for EDG at the moment, as Scout's actually gone back to base and picked up a Quicksilver Sash for himself as the victor. He's not happy with being locked down at the moment.
Well, he's been ganked about 7 times.
Well, good thing he's only died twice here in their match against Invictus Gaming. It's 4-5 in terms of kills, but EDG still have a massive gold lead with 3 turrets to 1.
That's just not good. That's monumental. Can you imagine if all of those 7 ganks had gone successfully, how massive Rookie on a Malzahar would be?
I know, look at Otto. He kind of knows what happens when you send 4 people into the mid lane over and over and over again. Poor old Saint.
That was too soon. Just savage Snitefish.
Invictus Gaming, though, still on the back foot here, and even though the scoreboard looks rather even between the two teams, Mako actually might be a target here, as Cocoon will lock him down, as well as the ultimate coming out from the Malzahar. Balan joins the fight, and now it's 5-5.
If there's something the composition can always fall back to, it's their ability to make picks. You still have the Malzahar ultimate, as well as the follow-up CC on the Cocoon. And again, Balan, he seems to be integrating with the team the best, always right place, right time.
So now Deft is making his way towards the top side of the map. A pink ward is here for save, which means he sees this ward. He's going to try and clear it out. Deft does get the volley down to slow down the Echo. As there's the arrow, forces the flash away from Echo as well. So good gank from EDG.
Yep, forces out the summoner spell. Now they'll be looking towards this outer top tower. I like the fact that Deft tried to wait until Echo was positioned against a wall to make his dodge only available with the flash rather than his E.
So good moves coming out from Deft. He's been having a great game so far. Still 60 CS up ahead of his opponent Marge, and has been putting out a lot of work across the map. Even in the top side of the map, gets a lot of shots down towards save and a volley on top of it. And with the rest of EDG rotating towards the top side of the map, this turret should fall. Or not.
Well, they're going to try to defend it, and they need to move Malzahar up there for their primary wave clear.
Which means that Gangplank's going to be walking down a massive minion wave on the bottom side of the map. Does have teleport as well as the cannon barrage available. So lots of global impact coming out from EDG's top laner. As Def looks to try and take down red buff for himself.
It could also mean the Rift Herald, although typically you would expect this to go to Mouse, and simply because he's on the bottom side of the map, it may delay that objective for EDG. They're not a very Herald-focused team either. Their primary monster objective that they have a love-hate relationship with actually Dragon. They have the highest Dragon control of any team in the league.
It's around 19 minutes into the game, which means Baron will be coming back up for the first time in about 50 seconds here. But EDG looking to try and take down the final outer turret for themselves, which is up in the top lane. Again, met with resistance as Marge and Baolan try to clear out the wave. But
the difference this time is the fact that Deft has that cooldown of the enchanted arrow, whereas last time he did not. So the kill threat on this tower is much higher.
Certainly is, as Clearlove is able to sweep out a ward. And finally, this turret will fall as a red buffed Deft is able to push it down. Invictus Gaming just can't quite defend against the power of the pushing EDG. That's just sad.
Now a question about where they're going to continue to push. Here comes the set-up pick from IG, although they are spotted out by a Hawkshot.
Blue buff has spawns, and that definitely looks like EDG are trying to contest for here. There is a pink one on the brush, so Invictus Gaming do have vision control, like you said. But the blue buff will fall, and it does look like Clearlove picked it up with his smite.
Naturally, when you're trying to trade a blue buff there and it's a contest to another jungler, it's just better to smite it away to deny it rather than try to pass it over to your mid laner. It's okay, buddy. You can have ours.
EDG is still looking to try and keep up their objective control. Like we mentioned earlier, RNG is definitely on their side this game as they picked up a Mountain Dragon first, Infernal Dragons next, and they're backing about 40 seconds before it spawns, so they'll be there nicely on time for that objective.
And now the question will be, what type of itemization will they come back with? And boom! Whew. That is a lot of completed items. They're big stats across the board. In particular, Deft having that Hurricane now available to him in tandem with the Essence Reaver.
In comparison to only the Yomu's Ghostblade from Marge as well, which is a cheaper build.
Very powerful EDG, which puts them in perfect position, like you said, to contest for this Infernal Drake.
Mouse is even looking to try and contest as he moves towards the top side of the map. Invictus Gaming have sent Marge to the top side. No teleport, no global for this Jhin, which means that the gameplay can have a lot of effect if they do go for the dragon.
He has been spotted out by a ward, however, and Marge does have both of his summoner spells, so there is the possibility of setting up a trap. But with IG all in top side, it means a free dragon, which is okay. IG knew that they couldn't fight this anyway. It's now, what do EDG do after this dragon? That's important.
Mouse is actually trying to run away, flashes away from the first Curticole, but he's got Kid to deal with next. The crit does a bit of damage, but that's a lot of damage going back on towards the Elite. Stays a little bit too long. There's the ultimate. The cannon barrage is enough. He trades 1-for-1, Frost Current.
1-for-1 is best case scenario. Likewise, Invictus Gaming actually did a great job in setting up their map to kind of deny any other counterplay that EDG would have. They've just now got this wave crashing down mid-tower, and IG should be able to safely get in position to defend this. So it's just Infernal Drake for a 1-for-1 on top.
An arrow from Def, who is looking to try and thread the bullet in between multiple members of Invictus Gaming to land on towards Rookie. But instead hits save right in the face and only locks down the tanky frontline of Invictus Gaming.
EDG need to reset their map before they can start setting up for the next play, which should be either making a pick mid lane or setting up for a possible Baron pick.
Now though they have sent Def down towards the bottom side of the map, he has really been getting the favor of the farming scenario between the two AD carries as he does pick up another big juicy wave that crashes on towards his turret. He's about 80 CS up as well. ahead of Marge, which is a big lead. He's about to flame Horizon him, Frostgoon.
Well, he definitely earned it. That cheeky level 1 play, forcing Jin and Trundle off of the Krugs and behind their tower with the pressure of volley.
A big dive at level 4 as well, coming out from Mako and Deft. Secure the first blood.
What a timeline and world we live in, where Deft and Mako are a hyper-aggressive bot lane duo. You have to remember that Deft in Korea had this reputation of being, you know, a bit timid in his lane phase, that it was the 5v5 team fight arena that he really thrived in.
It's the things the LPL does to you, Frostgoon. I mean, it's made Rookie enjoy the game a lot more. It's turned Deft into an aggressive player.
You go in a passive player, and you're either eaten alive, chewed up and spit out, or you swim in a river of blood of your enemies and their tears.
It sums up the LPL quite
I feel like
perfectly.
It had to escalate.
Well, if you want to see a lot of blood, you should watch that last game between Snake and Saints. The games 1 and games 3 were incredibly bloody series.
There's this Baron pick we were talking about. And where's the arrow?
Setting up a Deft Brush here as Deft is looking for the arrow, but instead opts to just allow EDG to clear out the wards that were placed down by Invictus Gaming.
See, Deft is a prized hunter. The Trundle rug will not look as nice on his fireplace as the Malzahar one.
Mako doesn't care. He's just fighting anyone that shows up in his lane. I mean, he's fought Kid a couple of times now. More than happy to take it to save when he's going toe-to-toe one-on-one with him in the bottom lane.
This is dangerous, though. So EDG, they tried to set up a play. They accumulated a lot of farm. They decided, hey, we have a power or a break point in our itemization. We should go back and spin that. You see Deft, he's picked up the Hex Drinker now. Mouse, you need to walk back into Fog of War because now you are a massive target with no other pressure point to play with.
Even Mouse has gone back to base and picked up a Hex Drinker for himself, so I mean, he can deal with the ultimate coming out from Malzahar with his oranges. Scouts opted for that QSS early to deal with that one too. Deft just looking to try and weather the storm.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. The choice between gold spent into the Hex Drinker versus gold spent into the QSS. And I actually favor the QSS a bit more. I mean, obviously it's Maw versus Scimitar, so lifesteal versus just kind of flat defensive stats. But I guess the Maw will also protect him against Echo and Elise.
We'll give him a little bit of lifesteal once he gets low enough. As that was Mako throwing out the Winter's Bite to pick up blue buff, showing Mata how it's really done on this Braum.
Savage.
As they move in towards the blue buff of Invictus Gaming jungle and sweep out a couple of the wards there to control the Baron vision once again. Kurtzakor popped into the mid lane. Scout just runs straight out of the range. And there's nothing that Marge can do at the moment.
And here comes Deft with his arrow. Again, it's the Malzahar rug that would just really make his collection right now.
It certainly was. Mouse is still trying to split push against Save here as he gets a nice barrel off. Might get 2. In fact, it's going to be Save that dodges that second one. But that's so much damage on towards the Echo. Power Convergence does not lock down Mouse, but forces Echo away from the fight.
And that is why teams are respecting the Gangplank and banning it away from EDG. They have too many really potent Gangplank players on their roster. Mouse being the primary offender this game.
ZG still holding on to their vision quite nicely. That's the last Trinket Ward being used by Invictus Gaming here, so they don't have any other ways to check this Baron in beside of just rushing into the pit.
And now it's just a patient game. Invictus Gaming, never really known for their patience.
EDG, though, playing this one quite patiently as they force Invictus Gaming to check into the pit here. There's the repel being used by Elise. Kid actually has to flash away as Mako throws Winner's Bite one way, the ultimate the other, and the arrow follows through to take down Kid. Even a teleport being used by Mouse to get towards the top side of the map.
With that summoner being burned, it means that EDG are going to pull the trigger on the Baron. No jungler and Smite available. Invictus Gaming have one option, and it's to fight for this.
Let's see if they do go for that fight. Baron already down to 3,000 health. Rookie and Baolan being zoned out. They're going to go in, but Cleared picks up the Baron for EDG. They now have to fight their way up the pit, but they've lost Mouse. Mako's low. EDG going to have to try and jump out, but they're being silenced. Deft gets locked out. He will get taken down here, but it's still Baron over towards EDG.
I bet Deft wishes he had the QSS right there because he also had his flash available, so he could have gotten out with his life.
And unfortunately, the Hex Trigger is not enough to save him during that engage. IG do pick up a lot of great kills for themselves, but they're still 6,000 gold behind EDG. And Edward Gaming now have Baron buff on multiple members.
Only 2 members, though, as we take a look at this replay. So good setup for Marge, and it's shooting fish in a barrel at this point. He manages to pick up a kill right there onto Mouse, and then it's just EDG clumping in the back and waiting to see who's going to have to use their flashes and who's going to get the cooldown timer.
Well, unfortunately, it should have been all of them using their flashes there, but they try to stick around for a little bit longer. It does give IG a little bit of breathing room, and RNG might be on EDG's side at the moment, but the one time IG can pick up a dragon, it's a Cloud Dragon.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
You can see the damage dealt during that last teamfight, though. Rookie topping the charts on his Malzahar. It's actually Def that did a lot in return for EDG, so tried to fight his way out of that pit, just wasn't enough. He is on fire at the moment. He's been able to pick up his next BF sword here, so not opting to complete the Hex Drinker into a Maw of Malmortius.
But again, if you take a peek at the map, Invictus Gaming still did a wonderful job in pushing against EDG, so wasting up a lot of this Baron time if they wanted to consolidate it into a lane by simply resetting the map. You can see save down here.
No teleport available for the Echo, though. EDG could try and take advantage of this and try and push through towards the middle lane. They do have Baron and minions pushing on towards the turret here. Balan tries to slow them down with the pillar. Not going to be enough. Scout will get locked down by the W coming out from Jin. And that's a turret that falls in favor of EDG. And they move straight back towards the top side of the map, which is a wave that was previously set up by Deft.
See if they're going to be able to snowball this into that top inner turret. Meanwhile, someone should have to respond towards the wave pressuring bottom.
But instead it will be Echo that heads back to base, and now it's only minions pushing on the side of Invictus Gaming. They've got to deal with a big Baron wave. There's an arrow coming out, forces a flash from Rookie, so no summoner spell on the Malzahar.
Straight through the wickets.
There's the Kurtikor coming through. First shot on towards Mako. Def actually going to eat a couple there. Cannon Barrage separates the rest of the team. Doesn't do all that much, but big ultimates burnt by both teams. Rookie's down as well. Scout, no, not Rookie. Scout's down as he's trying to look at this. Klilov actually being locked down, gets chunked out and destroyed there. Save will get knocked back into the team, but it's not going to be enough. Mouse even using the Yomu's Ghostblade to run away, so a good pick from Invictus Gaming.
Yep, just not respecting the damage and not having their cooldowns to appropriately threaten that tower. Yes, Klilov had Cask, but it had to be used at the last second defensively. They really need to rely on Mouse having his Cannon Barrage and Deft connecting with the arrow offensively if they want to try a maneuver like that.
So EDG do get a good gold lead for themselves, 5,000 gold up. They take one turret with the use of their Baron, but that's going to run out shortly. We're going to leave his Voilings to it, and they take down blue buff for him. Def still sitting on his second BF sword as well as the Hex Drinker at the moment. And he's moving towards the top side of the map. Jin gonna have to be a little bit careful. Def does have his arrow available. Hawkshot will spot out the Jin that's out of position. Looking for the arrow. Gets it down as the flash comes through.
Burned the summoner spell.
Again. So Marge able to use that one effectively for the second time this game to flash away from the nice enchanted crystal arrow coming out from Def.
Obviously the ultimate for Ashe. That cooldown will be up much sooner than the flash, so Marge will not get a second chance like that again.
Especially with the 30% cooldown reduction that Def has picked up from his Essence Reaver as well as the Hurricane he picked up previously. But Invictus Gaming have done a good job of halting EDG and stopping the bleeding so far.
And a lot of that's on the back of Rookie. Surprise, surprise. The all-star mid laner for Invictus Gaming, especially on this all-star pickup in Malzahar, sitting 4-0-4.
Getting an arrow though. It's quite not found at the moment.
Not if it hits him in the knee.
Someone get Atlas in here. I'm going home. EDG still looking to try and push this top lane in a turret though. And Invictus Gaming just still looking to try and defend that one. We don't have the top laners split pushing, so it's just going to be a 5-on-5 brawl looking to try and brute force their way down. Kurtikor actually coming out. Gets a couple of shots on towards Mouse as Mako puts up the door and shields his top laner.
This is something that's very funny from Clearlove. You'll often see Clearlove as one of the primary junglers that will be in side waves without his team, and he's just pushing creeps. And where this comes from is his old school days on World Elite, when he used to play for a little-known AD carry named Wei Xiao. Now, Wei Xiao was made very famous on his Ezreal play, and he was one of the first players that would use the Ezreal ultimate to clip waves across map and build up slow pushes. Clear Love has picked up this identity. Most people always try to argue that it was Uzi, or it was Imp, or it was Name, or it was any of these AD carries that took Wei Xiao's throne, when really his true successor was Clear Love. Clear Love is still the embodiment of Wei Xiao's slow-pushing playstyle, and you will constantly see him in side lanes, in mid lane, Nunu ultimating, like, just random waves. And you're always like, what are you doing? He's setting up a push. And he's one of the few junglers that does that.
You see lots of magic resistance actually being picked up by Clear Love here. Spirit Visage as well as Banshee's Veil, Merc Threads, and the Cinderhulk. Or is that the Runic Echo? No, it's Runic Echoes, so not as much health coming out from him, but still lots of magic resistance, respecting both Save and Rookie here. Marge with his armor penetration build of the Yomu's Ghostblade, Duskblade, as well as Lord Dominic's Regards is going to be able to shred through him.
If someone builds a Duskblade, what is it called, Fish? You have to say the full name.
Duskblade of Drakthar?
With the weird way that you say it. That was your moment. I thought every play-by-play caster was like, yes, someone built Duskblade, now I get to say it. You just shorthanded me. Just anticlimactic.
With Atlas a lot here, Frosco.
You've done it twice.
I have done it as well.
Here we go.
And it stops.
Swing and a miss.
It's been a few times Marge tries to pop a curtain call.
Big cooldown down, and here comes Deft. Where's the arrow? Where's the cask follow-up?
Well, let's see if we can connect that one, because no ultimate coming out just yet. Arrow actually was used there by Def. Doesn't lock anyone down, but there's a big cannon barrage coming out from the Gangplank, trying to separate the two teams. Def has to try and kite back, but it's Mako that falls down first. They do get the Malzahar. Now Marge to the next turret, but there's the Duskblade proc coming out from Marge to take them down. EDG actually trying to run away. Double kill will come out from Scout. He's the one that's in trouble next, though, as a double kill will come out from Save, but it's only Scout against Balan and Marge. He's trying to kite this one out, but IG successfully win the fight. 3 for 4.
EDG's core cooldowns not connecting on the right targets there. Invictus Gaming win a pretty big team fight, because it does mean, oh, those Scout. It's got blue buff. I didn't realize he had blue. They're fine.
He was trying his best to take down Marge there, but he does defend the turret. Still, bad news bears that the team fight goes in favor of Invictus Gaming.
But they don't get anything off of it. So yes, it's never a likable situation when you don't win a team fight, but it literally means nothing for Invictus Gaming. It's just pocket gold at this point.
On top of that, EDG still saved 2 crucial summoner spells. Mako and Clear Love's Flash still up and available. IG have nothing up. Marge's Flash will come back off of cooldown after he used it to flash away from Death's arrow previously. And waves are collapsing on towards Invictus Gaming's turrets. Dragon and Baron are both back up and available. It's another Mountain Dragon if EDG move towards it. They weren't able to secure the Dragon, the Baron last time they fought.
Naturally, Baron is the much more important and priority objective on the map right now in comparison to the Mountain Drake.
We saw there, Klunov was trying to take down Marge, but Jin just dealt so much damage to the lack of armor that came out from the front liner of EDG. They did take down Rookie, though, which was one of the crucial carries, but Save just bouncing to the backline. Def could not do anything on towards the Echo. Now has his Maw of Malmortia, so we'll be able to survive a little bit longer. And finally, EDG move towards that second Mountain Dragon of the game and take it down. Which
naturally will make taking and sieging this Baron that much easier when they start to look towards that objective. So now moving as a team, laying down their vision. Yes, Invictus Gaming have great pick on their composition, but so do EDG if they hit the arrow, which is what went wrong in the last team fight.
Currently 20% extra damage onto epic monsters and structures for EDG, as well as that single Infernal Drake means they'll get extra attack damage and ability power, which will scale quite nicely as they head into the late game. Elder Dragon is going to be the next dragon that spawns on Summoner's Rift. That'll be about 41 minutes into this match. Just like you said, Frosco and EDG already setting up and trying to control vision over towards this pit.
Still need to respect Rookie. Very big on this Malzahar, especially this late in the game at level 17. He's going to have his passive available to him every 6 seconds.
There's an arrow landing on top of Marge, knocked back into the team and deleted from Summoner's Rift.
as Kid now has to use the Protobelt to try and run. Repel is going to bring him absolutely nowhere as the Intuicy Spider gets taken down for a double kill for Scout. They pull the trigger, Frosker, and they get 2 big picks for it.
And there's the target selection that EDG were looking for. With the Spider dead, there's no smite contestation, which means that, again, Invictus Gaming really only have one play. It's to try to fight this and to kill EDG, but there goes the Baron.
Edward Gaming with that extra 20% damage increase onto the Baron, as well as the extra stats they get from Infernal, are just able to slaughter the big purple worm, and Deft is already setting up for a push on the top side of the map.
You say that.
He goes back to base.
3rd time's the charm. They'll take down that inner eventually.
Well, he's picked up a couple of big items for himself. Now has that Infinity Edge available for Ash, so comboing up with the Essence Reaver as well as the Hurricane. 70% crit, going to deal a lot of damage in these team fights. Whereas on the flip side, Marge still looking for his next item. Did go for a lot of armor penetration, now sitting on a BF sword.
It really comes down to execution of team fight. Both these teams have the potential to win the 5v5. Yep. It's just, do we catch the Ashe and delete her? She doesn't have a QSS. She is a little bit tanky with the Maw.
Good dodge.
Versus, does the arrow connect on Rookie or on Marge?
Well, Deft's arrow is back up and available. Marge got pinned by that last one in the team fight. And a big ultimate came out from Kaleb to knock him back into the team.
Does have his flash this time around, though. We knew that that summoner would be an issue.
Rookies is coming back up in a couple of seconds as well, but EDG used this time to take down the top lane inner turret and now push on towards the inhibitors.
But now it's a question, can they break the inhib line? They've been fairly unsuccessful. Invictus Gaming proving that they still have some bite left.
There's the arrow. Marge gets knocked back again, clipped into the turret, one-shotted by Scout. He's been dominated this game so far as EDG look towards the inhibitor.
Dies with his flash up, so just a mechanical error right there. And with this falling, they could look to continue through.
Turret's going to be falling. Invictus Gaming trying to put up whatever fight they have left, but that structure gets taken down. The inhibitor is the next target. EDG already working on it. They have minions crashing on towards Invictus Gaming's base on both the mid lane as well as the bottom lane. But instead, EDG take the safe route and head straight back to base.
And that's not the best inhib to take, simply because if this game does go to 3 Barons, it's not the Baron inhib, although it certainly will help them secure the Elder Drake.
Which is an objective that will be coming back up in about 3 minutes' time. And EDG do have the best dragons to have when you go for an Elder Dragon. Not only does it help you take down the Elder Dragon faster, it also multiplies the effects you get quite nicely for the next few fights. Blue off going to be taken up by Scout here. He's picked up a few big items for himself. Luden's Echo completed on the Victor.
Helping him with that mobility has kind of been...
There's an arrow. Scout actually going to get picked off here by the Cocoon, but he's still alive and healthy. Returns a lot of damage on towards Kid, but here comes Mouse in the back lines. Barrels forces the flash away from Marge. Save teleporting in. Baolan's going to get hit by the Winter's Bite as a big ultimate comes out from the Gangplank to try and lock them down. EDG do not get any picks, but they get so much damage on towards Invictus Gaming.
And every single ultimate except for that Chaos Storm has just been expended by EDG. On the other side, Invictus Gaming still have Malzahar ultimate, as well as Echo and now Jin's online. So EDG, they have to respect IG.
And it looks like they're going to be able to do just that as they head straight back to base after that fight. Master a little bit caught out, going to get silenced and slowed. Eats an orange, he's caved for now, but Maker's in trouble. He's trying to hold the door for EDG, but there's so many shots to the face, means that Marge snipes him down. Rookie took a lot of damage in the backline, but it's going to be saved as well as Kid that gets taken down. Scout is dominating, and it's a 2-for-1 trade.
And EDG want to continue to chase here because look at the wave crashing on the top Nexus turret.
And the arrow coming out from Def lands straight on towards Rookie, but the passive from Malzahar keeps him alive. Nexus turret's going to be defended by Invictus Gaming, but that means the bottom lane inhibitor is going to be falling as EDG pushed into the base.
And EDG managed to out-duel Invictus Gaming with none of their core cooldowns, picking up their second inhibitor and getting great chip damage on the Nexus tower.
And every single inhibitor turret has fallen, as 2 super minions will now start to march in towards Invictus Gaming's base from each and every single lane. Elder Dragon's up in 20 seconds. EDG have time to go back to base, and they probably will take that down before heading straight for the Nexus.
And what looked survivable for a second now looks completely apocalyptic. Invictus Gaming's base is in tatters.
And this is a game where both teams have 15 kills apiece, Frosker, and even that's not enough for Invictus Gaming to try and stay in this one as EDG, they are so far ahead in gold as well.
But check out the team damage dealt. Now, naturally, Scout, one of the only members of EDG that retained his ultimate from the previous scuffle. But again, the unsung hero, the backbone of this iteration of EDG, Scout cannot be underestimated.
Well, Kid is actually going to come down from the rappel there and just gets deleted. Scout is 8-3-3 on his Victor, 422 CS. He is a monster, and no jungler up for IG means EDG with the Elder Dragon are going to start to waltz in towards IG's base.
And Scout retained that scoreline, getting ganked repeatedly, camped by Kid, and facing across from Rookie on a champion like Malzahar. That is just straight impressive.
And he's only died once outside of that laning phase, and once where there was no gank coming in. Kurtikal looking to try and defend this one. Cannon Barrage straight back on top of him. The barrel takes him down. They delete Marge again in this game. Mako jumps forward looking for the stun, but it's going to be the first Nexus turret that falls. Invictus Gaming's base has been absolutely demolished as EDG look to take game one over IG.
What a scenario we live in where Invictus Gaming are continuing to struggle to put a cohesive and strong roster on Summoner's Rift, whereas EDG are running around with two mid laners like, I have all this talent, I don't know what to do with all of it.
It's kind of something we touched on recently, how the top three teams in the LPL, you look at the likes of EDG, RNG, Team WE, the three of the best teams that we have. Common thing they have is very stable rosters, with the exception of EDG, who have been playing around with Scout and Pawn.
Yes, but only late. I will say that EDG have had a fairly stable roster for a majority of this split of the LPL, and that it's been Scout as the primary starter there, with Pawn kind of coming in and out in terms of his injury. So I don't think it's fair necessarily to put that against EDG.
This was a very smart gank from Clearlove. This entire time, despite the pink ward being in that brush, he was not in vision and crept around just enough to be able to pick up this kill in the top lane against the Echo, burning the Summoner spell as well.
Which is just frankly impressive for a champion like Gragas. That guy is not very sneaky.
You can see him coming from a mile away. And I mean, this was interesting from Mouse. And Clearlove's trying to run away. One more auto attack would have been enough, but Gangplank's dead.
Misclick.
Yeah.
We've seen Scout do this a couple of times on Gangplank.
It was lag.
Where he just cues and creep and he misses his barrel.
Then this. We've seen this a few times. Kid moving towards the top lane. He just moved from top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. As unfortunate for Marge, he was the target of many of these enchanted crystal arrows.
Yeah, he's pretty much the IG mouse. If we're following trends in this highlight reel, he was just bounced around like a ping pong ball, had a very rough lane phase, left that with a 50 CS discrepancy, didn't have his first item until, you know, the kids were already done with college. It was an uphill climb.
He was flame behind him by the end of that match as well. He was the target. EDG's strategy was enchanted crystal arrow onto the AD carry, ultimate from Gragas, knock him back to the team, delete him right off with the Victor. And, you know, that was another arrow. Once again, flash from Clearlove means Marge is dead, and this just kept happening time and time again.
But a little bit late. So EDG played the end of this series very clean and the beginning of this series very clean. It got a little bit messy in the middle of it, where they would try to force fights after missing key cooldowns and kind of testing their luck. So there was still some life left in Invictus Gaming.
Again, I feel like I've seen this story before. Marge tries to do something, finds a Gangplank as well as a enchanted crystal arrow, as well as Gragas on top of him, and he just dies, and with that, EDG able to take game one over Invictus Gaming, but there's still a best of 3 series on our hand for the final game of tonight. We'll be back in just a bit for that second match.